Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Saturn Slam review of Backlash. This is the first review in our post-brand split era.
Yeah.
We got a new, well, it's the old channel, but it's got new art and stuff. It's got Kenny Omega with a Saturn ball head and a controller for a hand.
I love it.
Um, Backlash. Uh, didn't expect much going into this pay-per-view. Came out pretty satisfied. Overall, felt it was a good show. There were some good matches. I liked that it
Hmm.
was on the shorter end. Like they didn't try to cram so much in. They had to cut time from things,
And they didn't try to stretch it.
and they didn't try to stretch anything out. No, they went off with like 15 minutes still in the time slot.
Hmm.
So hopefully that's the model they take going forward because I'm kind of I'd much rather watch a pay per view with 6 matches that only goes 2 hours and 45 minutes, but every match gets the time it needs, versus a pay per view like SummerSlam that goes 4 hours, has like 17 matches, and like none of them are any good.
Right. You only got like one gem in the pile that you just dumped on there.
Yeah. So we'll start off with the pre-show. We came in at the end of this match. I went back and watched it, and that was Baron Corbin versus Apollo Crews. A battle of people who they have nothing for.
That's why
Um,
it was in the pre-show.
why it wasn't on the main card, I don't know. I guess you have to have a pre-show match to try to sell the pay-per-view, get that network subscription. It was an okay match.
Hmm.
Nothing really special about it, but also nothing really terrible about it. It would be, if it were a match on TV, I would say, that was a good TV match.
Right, but this isn't TV.
No, this was pay per view, technically. Um, Pre pay per view. PPPV. Um, I gave it 2 stars.
Yeah, that was definitely just a 1 star, 2 star. It's like pretty forgettable. Just like that's why I was in the pre-show, I guess.
Yeah,
They're just like, we have this match, we're gonna do it. Where do we put it?
both
Yeah.
guys looked okay. Baron Corbin went over with the end of days. It was a match.
Yeah.
The real pay per view opened with the women's 6 way, and this match had a lot of nifty spots in it, but it was a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it had a lot of nifty spots, about 3 times each.
Yeah, they went back to a lot of the spots, a lot like they did two like Tower of Doom corner spots, and
Hmm.
Alexa Bliss did two Code Reds, and those are all fine in moderation. But if you do it too many times, it loses its impact. We've talked about this, I believe, with the Superman punch.
Right.
Like he does it 4 times a match. I don't really feel anything when he does it anymore. No matter how cool the move was the first time I saw it, now it's just kind of become self-parody.
Pretty standard, yeah.
So
It came out the way we predicted.
yeah, Becky Lynch ended up getting the title. They wrestled for a good while before anyone was eliminated. Alexa Bliss and Naomi took most of the match, probably because they were the ones who got eliminated early.
Hmm.
Um, it never really boiled down to like a
Final.
one-on-one little mini match. Like even when it went down to Carmella and Becky, like Carmella did some really weak slapping,
Yeah,
and
they're called hand strikes,
yeah,
Kurt.
Peter's like, "Oh my god, he's slapping him!" Like they're palm strikes, Peter. uh, yeah, and then Becky got her in the disarmor through magic. I don't even remember the sequence that led to the finish, but
Yeah.
she won. She cut a fairly emotional promo afterwards, thanking the fans, being happy to be women's champion, and we'll see what comes of this. I don't know where they're gonna go with that division, but
Oh,
the right person, the only person really who could carry that title, has that title.
right.
So
We were wondering, like, how are they gonna set this up after this?
yeah, I think maybe Eva Marie gets involved. I mean, she's not going to be on SmackDown this week, but next week she'll be able to be on SmackDown. If not, then they're probably just going to have her feud with Alexa for a little bit. But Alexa has only been on the main roster for like 4 weeks. Maybe a bit soon for her to be thrust into a main event feud.
Yeah.
Who knows, though?
Mhm. Um, yeah, I gave this 3 stars.
Yeah, this was
It
a
was.
solid 3-star match. It would have been better if there were like any bit of psychology to the match, if it wasn't just
Mhm.
spots for the sake of spots.
Right. It's memorable for what it was. It was like a first time new championship,
Yeah.
and had a lot of had some good spots.
Yeah. Then was the Usos versus the Hype Bros. This match was hurt by the fact that it was probably the most predictable match on the show. There was no reason for them to run the Hype Bros versus Rhino and Slater again
Yeah.
in the span of like 6 days. So it was fairly clear that the Usos were going to win. But they did, and you know what? It was good. It was good healing by the Usos. They got the heat on Ryder for a long part of the match. They worked a body part, and they won with a submission. That's not their normal finish. That I liked that.
Yeah, they were throwing out a lot of new stuff, and that's kind of a theme that ran through this one, was that a lot of the people were trying out.
Yeah,
some
with
things.
the new set with like the LED posts on the ring post, they're like working a lot of interesting spots into it now that like the corner's more stable and they can bounce people off of it. So that was a good set change because it's leading to some interesting stuff that I've never seen before. So yeah, I give this match 2 stars. It was all right. Like I said, there was parts I like about it, like from a character work perspective, but from like a technical wrestling match, it was just all right.
Yeah, it was a 1 or 2 for me. It was pretty mediocre in terms of the in-ring stuff.
Yeah, and that brings us to The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, a lot of people have been raving about this match, saying it was the match of the night and one of the best matches they've seen on WWE TV for a while. I did not take that away from this.
Yeah, there wasn't anything that really stood out to me.
It wasn't a bad. It was better than what I expected it to be going in.
Right.
I didn't really expect this match. I mean, how good can a match featured in a KFC commercial really be? But to their credit, they went out there and they put on a decent match. I think a lot of the reason people liked this match was some of the reasons that we didn't really like this match. They liked that it was, a bit more on the slow and plodding side, but, we kind of felt it was a little too slow in spots.
Right, they were really taking.
And then some people really liked how he mocked Daniel Bryan. We didn't really like that because that feud's not going anywhere. Like,
why even try and make that a thing?
I even read today there's no plans for Miz versus Bryan. So other than getting him just a teeny little bit more heat than he already has, what even is the point?
Oh no, I don't know what they're got in their heads for this.
And then the finish with Maurice pepper spraying Dolph Ziggler into a skull crushing finale from Miz. I mean, this match was straight out of 2008.
Yeah.
And some people praised it for being straight out of 2008, but it was emblematic of the criticism that Daniel Bryan laid on The Miz. He wrestled that softer WWE style. The style has evolved so much in the past, 4 or 5 years, however long it's been since 2008. I don't want to put a number on it because it'll make me very sad.
Right. Time is passing.
Yes, it is. We're all getting older. But I didn't care. Again, it wasn't a terrible match. It was a better match than I expected them to have, and it was probably the best match best one-on-one match that Miz has had all year, and maybe for the past couple years. That being said, and also talk about Ziggler a little bit. Yeah. Where was this Dolph Ziggler at SummerSlam?
Right?
If this Dolph Ziggler had showed up to SummerSlam, he and Dean Ambrose would have stole the show.
That would have been a great match, but
But for whatever reason, he's like,
he was saving it.
I'm going to bring it against The Miz. Not against Dean Ambrose for the world title. The Miz. The world title I've never won. I mean, he won the big gold belt twice, but not the WWE Championship.
Right. it's like you told me. You said to me while we were talking about this, Ziggler has 2 types of matches.
Yeah.
I feel like he kind of switched them where they should be.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's a credit to the Miz though, because he was able to go and wrestle at the pace that Ziggler wanted to wrestle at. Although I wouldn't say that Ambrose didn't. That match was just kind of like, I felt like they had worked out maybe a 15 or 20-minute match and were told, you guys got 12 minutes. And rather than rework the match, they were just like, we'll just get to this point and then stop.
Right.
I gave it 2 3/4 stars. Just couldn't find it in me to give it 3 stars.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see what everyone else saw in it, but I just didn't.
Definitely.
So that brought us to the Usos wrestling their second match on the card against the team of Rhino and Heath Slater for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The fact that Rhino and Heath Slater in 2016 are wrestling for any championship is just a testament to how crazy a year 2016 has been in the world of wrestling.
Yep.
But here we were, and they put on a pretty good match.
Yeah.
It was unremarkable in a lot of ways, but the crowd was really into it, because the crowd was really into Heath Slater.
Because Heath Slater's great.
Because Heath Slater is fucking amazing. He's the best guy in the world right now, bar maybe Chris Jericho.
Right. Ooh, Slater Jericho.
Oh man, the world could not handle that. It would just collapse in on itself from the sheer volume of greatness compacted into such a small area. It'd create like a mini black hole and destroy the world. But anyway, this match was pretty good. Rhino isn't quite the wrestler he used to be, but he didn't make the match any worse, and the right guys went over. Slater and Rhino won. Slater cut an amazing post-match promo.
Yeah. He's like, we're getting a double wide now.
They're getting that double wide. They're getting that above ground pool. It was a really feel good moment, and any shortcoming the wrestling match had more than made up for by the sheer satisfaction of seeing the resolution to Heath Slater's storyline. Right. Where they go from here, they're probably going to drop the belts to the Usos tonight, I guess, on SmackDown. And they'll get the Usos their heel heat, but at least Heath Slater has a show now. And where he goes from here, I don't know. But if they keep letting him do his thing, then he'll be fine.
Yeah. Just let him be him.
Yeah, I also gave this match 2 3/4 stars.
Yeah, to me it was it was a 3 stars.
Yeah, like as a wrestling match, it was like if we factor in the ending, I'd tack another star onto it.
Right.
So like 3 3/4 for the total package, but yeah.
Yeah, what a good final match.
So that led us to Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton, kind of. Bray Wyatt earlier in the show took out Randy Orton's leg, and Peter and I were kind of like, why are they cutting this match?
There's so little on this card already.
This is already such a thin card. You can't be canceling this match.
So
but
we started thinking.
Yeah, we started thinking about like how and why they'll get around this. So Bray Wyatt came out. We couldn't really come up with anything definitive. Yeah. So Bray Wyatt came out, and then like Randy Orton can't compete. And the reason this match was scrapped, by the way, I read this morning. Apparently, Randy Orton suffered concussion at SummerSlam, making that finish look all the worse.
Oh.
And they thought he'd be cleared to compete for Backlash, but he wasn't. So they had to scrap the match and then substitute it with this other match that we'll get to in a second.
Yeah. Yikes.
So, yeah, good job. Really made Brock Lesnar look strong. Hope it was worth it.
Brock Ridge Lesnar.
Jeopardizing the health of one of your top guys to make a guy who shows up maybe 4 times a year look super strong. For whom to beat, I don't know. I don't know who they're building him up for.
He's just going
Obviously,
be there.
the answer is Roman Reigns, but You still got a while before you
Oh.
can get to a point where that will be accepted in any sort of fashion.
Another Reigns-Lesnar match.
The first one wasn't bad, but the crowd was definitely not ready for Reigns to go over.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the idea. Maybe the idea is to get everyone so upset with Brock Lesnar that they just don't care who
Forget
it is
about
who
Reigns.
beat them. Like, they'll accept Roman Reigns as the conquering hero. They'll be like, just get Brock Lesnar off my television. The loser leaves WWE match, and everyone will just accept the fact that at least someone they don't like is leaving. But anyway, back to the pay-per-view at hand. So they announced that Bray Wyatt demands that the count be made, and he wins by forfeit. So that's a 0-star match because there was no match.
Right.
But it was seconds later announced that he would be competing in a no-holds-barred match against a mystery opponent. And at this point, we went into overdrive trying to think of who on the SmackDown roster was not already on the card.
Who was able to go. And then
Turned out it was Kane.
Screen flashes red and he walks out. We're like, what?
I didn't know how to feel. I popped a little bit, and then I remembered, wait, this is 2016, and it's Kane, and he's facing Bray Wyatt in a no-hold-barred match. And I was kind of confused, but I was like, you know what, we'll go with it. We'll go with it. It'll be okay. And it was okay. They had a fun little match together. That was
really nice.
It was one of the better matches on the show, and the ending, kind of not so much. And I figured the ending out, halfway through the match. We're enjoying the match. Bray Wyatt had just done his, running senton through the announce table. And we're like, yeah, this match is pretty damn good. And then I figured, this is no hold bars match. Oh, shit. Randy Orton's going to hit an RKO, # out of nowhere. And then Kane's going to pin Bray Wyatt.
Lo and behold.
And, yeah, it wasn't exactly out of nowhere. Randy Orton hobbled down to the ring. It took him, that was probably the slowest anyone's ever taken to get to the ring, except maybe The Undertaker or Finn Balor.
Out of somewhere.
Yeah. Out of plain view, he walked in, hit Bray Wyatt with an RKO because reasons, I guess, and then Kane chokeslammed Bray Wyatt and got the pin. Kane got the win in 2016 at 49 years of age. Kane is your big winner. You're building him up for nothing, I'm sure. But it does further Kane's gimmick of coming out and saving bad segments.
Yeah.
Teddy's hat on SmackDown.
That's who he is.
That's who he is now. He just comes out. It's like if there's a bad segment, there's Miz's promos coming on too long. He just comes out, chokeslams him, walks back. Which is probably the perfect role for Kane at this time. It's not the worst way for Bray Wyatt to lose on pay-per-view. It was a 2-on-1 sort of thing. And Kane and Randy Orton are both people who have been booked strong all throughout their careers. So on that hand, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Right. I
would have much rather Bray had won and then Randy Orton hit the RKO.
Yeah.
Or, not have it be a no-holds-barred match and have Randy give Bray the win by DQ. There were better ways, I feel, to do it.
I think the short time span in which to craft this.
Yeah, they probably just
their options.
Yeah, they probably didn't have as much time to think on it as we did. But it continues their feud. If Bray goes over at No Mercy, then it's fine. They can have that.
Just keep going.
But anyway, I give this match 3.5 stars. It was actually really good. I don't think anyone expected a Kane-Bray Wyatt match on such short notice to be as good as this, but it was good. It's probably the best match Kane has had in, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
Ever since he and Daniel Bryan stopped being a tag team. Probably. So yeah, it was good. I liked it.
Solid.
I liked it a lot more than the Miz Ziggler match, which I know will upset many of people.
Because this one was it had that
this
entertainment
one was
factor.
it was at least fun. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't have fun when I watch the Miz wrestle. I just kind of roll my eyes repeatedly.
Yeah, just his whole thing,
Just all of it is not.
That whole segment backstage with the kid from
Yeah,
like,
with
whatever
the
his face was.
kid from Nickelodeon, and then to open the show, him getting in Daniel Bryan's face again. Why are you doing that? There's no match there. Why are you building to a match you can't have?
Why are you doing the yes chant in the Ugh.
Anywho, that brings us to our main event of the evening, and the only match we got wrong.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, kind of.
Strangely.
Yeah.
I feel like it could have gone either way, but
Yeah, it was like we said. I think we said in our predictions video, we're like, we're thinking Ambrose, but we wouldn't be too surprised if Styles walked out with the belt.
Mhm.
And Styles walked out with the belt after an absolute barn burner of a match. Far and away the best match on the card.
oh yeah.
Really, really good stuff from these two. This was the SummerSlam match. Like, this was the match
Is
that
this
should
the
have been
SummerSlam
on
curse? Like, where every time it's before and after SummerSlam, and there's nothing.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
it's just this weird time warp thing where things that should have happened at SummerSlam happen at the subsequent pay-per-view. Although SummerSlam last year, it had a couple good matches, and, like, the right thing happened. Like, Seth Rollins won the winner-take-all match against John Cena, and The Undertaker beat Brock Lesnar.
Oh, that's all. Yeah. That gives me warm tingles. It's always good to hear.
I mean, not exactly clean, but, you know,
don't care.
a win's a win. Brock Lesnar still lost. Anyway, this was just a spectacular match. They each brought their A game. Dean Ambrose does all the little selling things so well.
So good, so good.
Just all the facial expressions, all the like little nuances to like him selling AJ's offense were great, and like you could see him like start like in his promo he said I take guys to places they've never been before, and you could like see that insanity building. Like toward the end of the match he was just throwing himself off of everything that wasn't at sea level.
Right. He was just going crazy, just knocking Styles around nowhere.
And then we got to the finish, which not crazy about. Dick Kick City rears its ugly head again. The ref takes a bump. Styles sees that, hits Ambrose in the Jesus Zipper, and then hits a Styles Clash for the pin. And that was the finish. Like, I feel like they let Roman kick out of 2 Styles Clashes and like 80,000 phenomenal forearms.
But the dramatic irony.
They let John Cena kick out of like the Styles Clash.
But the dramatic irony.
They let Chris Jericho kick out of the Styles Clash. You'd think Dean would get one, you know? Like, if he kicks out of the Styles Clash, AJ goes like, what the hell, and hits him with another one and pins him. That would be better. But this is like fucking WrestleMania all over again, where they let Roman kick out of 6 F5s, but 1 beats Dean.
Right, just, and all the hype was so good, and the match was so good, and it just kind of like
the finish was
anticlimactic.
Yeah, the finish did not suit the match at all from a quality standpoint. But at the end, like I don't know how to feel about them taking the belt off Dean. Maybe this is the kick in the pants his character needed, because he was kind of like being wacky Dean Ambrose a little too much on SmackDown. This might make him more of the focused, crazy, will do anything to get/keep his title Dean Ambrose that really should be the top guy on SmackDown. But, you know, if you subscribe to the theory that the best wrestler should get the belt, AJ Styles far and away deserves the belt. He is the best guy in the company, probably the best guy in the world. And we live in a world where the champions of the brands in WWE are Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, and Shinsuke Nakamura. If you had told me that last year, I would have been like, who the hell is Shinsuke Nakamura? And I don't believe you.
Told half a year ago, I've been like, this is where I want everything to go to.
I would be like, yeah, I want to go to there.
And we're here.
And here we are. 2016, ladies and gentlemen, 2016. I look forward to the next match in the Ambrose Styles feud, I've heard rumors that Cena might get in the mix. And they might do a triple threat, No Mercy. Whatever.
I don't know. I feel like that's not. You're just throwing
that
like
would
extra
be
stuff
that
in
would be
there.
kind of sucky because he's gonna show up, get a title match, and then leave again to film American Grid or whatever the fuck his TV show is.
It's like throwing an onion into a chocolate cake. You know.
It just doesn't fit. Like, it might not make it any worse, but it sure as hell isn't gonna make it any better.
Exactamundo.
So don't throw onions in chocolate cakes. Don't throw John Cena's into Ambrose Styles feuds, and just let it be. Raw's got their work cut out for them to top this Clash of Champions. That's going to be a tricky show for us to review. Actually, no, Clash of Champions not so much. No Mercy a little more so. Pre-release is Clash of Champions weekend.
Okay.
But if we go on Saturday or Friday, then that's not an issue. You aren't going to be here for No Mercy, so that review might be a little bit late. It'll be there, but it might be late.
Take a while for the quality.
Yeah, it won't be any worse than a Battleground review, which was like a week and a half after the fact. We're sorry about that.
Let me look in my history book here for the match reviews.
So anyway, that's what we thought about Backlash. Solid B plus to A minus show.
Right. Consistent quality, which is really what I'm kind of looking for after a lot of like these roller coaster shows.
After SummerSlam, this was just what we needed. Hopefully, Clash of Champions will be at least as good. We'll see. It is the Raw pay-per-view. And if the quality of the weekly television is any indication, then it will not be as good as the SmackDown pay-per-view.
But it could surprise us.
We were surprised by this show, too. We didn't think there was going to be much to the show. We got Seth Rollins turning babyface, so that's like... Right. That automatically adds like a star rating to whatever match is involved on that card. So anyway, yeah. Once again, wrapping that up, those were our thoughts on Backlash. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Don't be afraid to drop a like and subscribe to this channel for more wrestling predictions, reviews, and possibly other stuff forthcoming. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.